Now, let's start making our biconcave shape. The first thing we're going to do is go to the bottom interface and find Face Select. Right here, where my mouse is pointing at, we have the Vertex Select, which means we can select different vertices. So look at that, vertex, vertex, vertex. So just right click to select them. Adjacent to Vertex Select, we have Edge Select. So that means we can select different edges of our mesh. So as you can see, they are highlighted in white. And finally, we have Face Select. This will allow us to select different faces. So you right click on a face and there you go, selected, right? Remember, the orange border. What we want to do is to select the top face and the bottom face. Notice how when I select those two faces, I can only select one of them. So we want to select both. So to do that, we select one face, and then to select the other, hold down Shift on your keyboard and select the other face. So Shift and right click, and now you have successfully selected two faces. Now that you have selected both of these faces, we can now extrude them. So to extrude, we go to the left-hand side column and click on Extrude Region. Notice that when I hover my mouse over it, there's a shortcut, which is E. So you can click on this or press E, same thing. So E, there we go. Now, if you do not confirm your selection for extruding this region, you can move your mouse and you can alter it like this. This isn't something you want. What we want is to make it look like how it looked initially, which is this. Confirm using left click, and there we go. It looks like this now. So next step is actually making our biconcave feature. How exciting is that? So to do that, remember, we have to press S, right? We're going to scale it. Now, from our last video, I mentioned to have more control, make sure your mouse is away from the object, right? Not too close. So this is a good distance, and let's press S. I'll move it up so you can have a look. So S, and we just move it inwards. Notice how this face is slowly disappearing into the object. And as it's doing that, we're actually generating a nice dent. And this is the formation of our biconcave feature. So we left click to stop, and there you go. We have our biconcave feature. Because we selected both faces, what we've done on the top is the same on the bottom. So if you look at our reference image, the biconcave feature isn't this small. So let's go have a look. Notice how the biconcave region is actually encompassing most of this top region and also the bottom region. So our biconcave feature is actually too small. What we need to do is actually enlarge it. So we need to stretch it out. So to stretch it out, we will select these 4 new faces that we have generated by moving the top face inwards. So remember, right click to select one face and then hold Shift to select all the other faces. So do the same to the bottom. And there you have it. You should have 8 faces in total selected. So now we're going to scale it up. So we're going to stretch it out. So remember, away from the object, press S and stretch it out. Notice how as we're increasing the size of our biconcave region, the whole thing is also increasing. And now you have successfully made a marshmallow. Not something that we want right now. So there you go, a marshmallow. Now, yes, our biconcave region is larger, but the overall size is a bit of an issue. So, how can we compress the shape to make it look more like a red blood cell? So I want you to have a moment to think about it. So for those of you who thought we can just press S, that's not bad. But what happens if we do press S? Look, we just go back to the original. So we don't want that. So to be more specific, right, we can scale it, right, S, but at the same time, we need to lock it at a particular axis. So because we want to compress it, This is on the Z-axis, so you can press Z and then move inwards to compress it. So just to explain the relevance of all this, let's have a look here. We have a blue line, red line, and red line. Blue line, green line, and red line. So these three lines represent the three different axes on our 3D view. The red for X, the green for Y, and the Z for, well, the blue for Z. Now, if we compress it via the X-axis, let's see what happens. So S and X. Look at that. We just squeeze it inwards, right? Because this is on the X-axis. So just pay attention to the red line. But since we want to compress it, right, from top to bottom, we go and look at the Z-axis. So S, and then we press Z to lock in which axis we want, and then we compress. So don't compress too far, right? Because then you don't have anything. So get to a point where it looks more like a red blood cell, less like a marshmallow, and our biconcave feature is still visible. So this is a good spot. And then let's switch from edit mode to object mode. There we go. This is getting there, right? Well done.